Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another League of Ireland European show. I'm going to start off with the Champions League qualifier and Shamrock Rovers losing the second leg over in the Czech Republic by 4 goals to 2 against Sparta Prague. I watched this game as well, and first of all, it was a very entertaining game. Shamrock Rovers just went for it, to be honest with you. Scored 2 goals, two cracking goals. Could have scored more. Farouj had a great chance. She won all at the time. He would have put them 2-1 up when he got inside, and he was 1-on-1, but unfortunately his shot wasn't great. They conceded after 29 minutes, first real chance of Sparta Prague in the game, which they would have been disappointed with. But on 32 minutes, Green makes it 1-1 with a fantastic goal. Lovely through ball. Green does well to beat the offside trap. Rounds the keeper at a narrow angle, and it's a brilliant finish actually from Aaron Green. On 41 minutes then, they go 2-1 up, Sparta Prague, through Ross, and it was disappointing because it was just right on half time, wasn't it, too? Green then equalised early in the second half to make it 2-2 in 47 minutes with another good goal. Great ball in by Josh Hoonahan, and Green with a brilliant header back to where it came from into the net. Nothing the keeper would do. But a minute later they conceded. They conceded a minute later, 3-2, and it was another set piece. It was a corner kick, their second corner kick they conceded actually in the game. And this one in particular, very disappointing, I felt, to be honest with you. Extremely disappointing. Poor marking in the box, and an easy goal really to give away. And it was a minute later. Tukey scored after 71 minutes for Sparta Prague, and that was the end of the scoring. But overall, very good game of football. Enjoyed it, actually. It was very entertaining. Shamrock Rovers gave as good as they got, to be honest, in this game as well. And probably feel they could have done better than the 4-2 scoreline, if I'm honest with you, too. But, ultimately puts them into the Europa League now, and I believe they have a chance. I think they have a chance of going through here. They play NK Celje of Slovenia. Slovenia, in the UEFA coefficient rankings, are only 2 rankings above ours. We're 33, they're 31. Pats beat Mora, knocked out Mora from Slovenia only 2 years ago as well. And Mora actually beat Shelbourne at the weekend by 1-0 in the league. So they do have a chance, Rovers, coupled with the fact, if you look at their results themselves, they drew 1-1 at home to Bratislava, but then lost 5-0 in the second leg. I'm aware they got a player sent off after 15 minutes. Even so, to lose 5-0 away to Slovan Bratislava is poor enough. So there's a chance for Shamrock Rovers to get through here. There is. I mean, they could have got much harder ties. Let's be honest about it. They could have got much harder ties. And they're going to be away in the first leg too. So, they're going to, unlike the last round, they're going to be away. So, there's an opportunity for them here, I think. I honestly do. What way will they set up in terms of, they really went for it against Sparta Prague. Do they do that in this game? Of course, they're coming up, in my opinion, it's weaker opposition. I think Prague beat these guys after over 2 legs also. So, but there was a bit of pressure off Shamrock Rovers going into the second leg as well. But mate, just get that balance right. I mean, when they went to Vikinger, I thought they were right to go quite defensive, especially after last year in Europe, where they were beaten kind of comfortably in some of the away matches, and it doesn't give them a chance in the second leg. So they were right to do that away in Vikinger and got away with a 0-0 draw, or came out of it, not got away, with a 0-0 draw, and ended up obviously winning the home leg. They might do something similar here, but they do have threats, as we know, and will Aaron Green's start in that particular game is difficult to know. I think Johnny Kenny picked up a knock, so he's out at the moment. Maybe he'll be available for that game on Thursday. Players like Dylan Watts are going to be key, but they need to defend better. Generally. And I still think their goalkeeper's a problem, Liam Poles. I know he done well last year when he came in for Manus, and Manus was out overall, but I don't know. I think he's made quite a few errors this season. I think the communication with the defence and him doesn't seem to be right. His timing of coming off the line is often wrong, particularly set piece plays and stuff like that. And we've seen that actually in the Waterford game as well. There will be a Premier Division show coming out as well, by the way, probably Tuesday. So I'll talk about that in Tuesday more so. But yeah, I give them a good chance. going over to Slovenia in the first leg, and obviously hoping to get a good result and take that back to Tallaght Stadium. I'll be at the game at Tallaght Stadium as well, the second leg. I'm trying to think what score I'm going to go for here. I think it'll be a tight game. I think they'll try and do similar like they did in Vikinger. I'm going to go for. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw here. I think they might get a 1-1 draw. If they can come out of it with a draw, I think they'll beat them at Tallaght Stadium. But obviously that's for another day. We'll get through this one first. But yeah, that's what I'm going for. Shelbourne. I was at this game against FC Zurich the other night as well. And obviously, look, they were 3-0 down from the first leg. There's a matchday vlog out in that as well, so keep an eye on that, guys, too. They were 3-0 down from the first leg, so they had a mountain decline coming into the second leg. And for me, it was all about could they get a result, basically. And they did get a result. They got a 0-0 draw. It's good for them because it means now that they're 10 games unbeaten at home in Europe, which is fantastic. And it's a record in the league. And also it helps the League of Ireland's coefficient. By going away and getting a 0-0 draw, that helps the League of Ireland coefficient. You know, they came up against a good side. FC Zurich are a good side. They've got very good technical players. You can see how physical they are. Very agile, strong in an athletic way. Very, very good side. And look, from their point of view as well, they were probably coming into the game thinking, look, we've won the game 3-0. We're not going to exactly exert ourselves here. And I think that's how it played out. And it kind of played out in a little bit that, but Shells were also happy if they could kind of get something out of the game. Now, Shells had chances in the first half. Ali Coote does very well on the right. She plays the ball back and, you know, is it slightly behind Maddie Smith? Can Maddie Smith read it better? It's a chance though. Paddy Barrett had a chance also, which just flashed wide. And Grasshopper did hit the woodwork, or Grasshopper, there used to be Grasshopper. By the way, their fans were brilliant. I mentioned that in the vlog as well. They just kept going and going and going for the whole 90 plus minutes. It was incredible, actually. Test of stamina, really, more than anything. But yeah, and maybe that's why the Grasshoppers came into my head, because we're bouncing like grasshoppers. But yeah, and into the second half, you know, the game drifted a little bit, but the last 20 minutes they put a lot of pressure on the Shelbourne goal, and they had some opportunities to score. Kearns makes one good save as well. But ultimately, 0-0 draw, Shelbourne go out, and look, it's their first campaign in 18 years. They managed to get a win in the campaign. And that's always my thing with any of the League of Ireland clubs in Europe. Can you get a win? Just get a win, and after that you're in kind of bonus territory. They got the win against St Joseph's. So, and overall, I thought they didn't exactly disgrace themselves against a very good side. They're beating 3-0 away in the first leg, I know, but you know, they did well. And the lack of experience in Europe, I know they've got experienced players, etc., etc. One of them was missing for the two legs against Copenhagen, in particular Sean Gannon, of course. But as a club, they haven't had that experience of being in Europe for so long. So that'll help them, because they will be in Europe next season. No matter where they finish in the league, Shelbourne are going to be in Europe next season. So they'll learn a lot from that. And I'm sure Damien Duff will learn a lot from that as well. And, you know, it was a good, decent performance, very decent performance at Talkie Park the other night, and a very decent result for Shelbourne. But ultimately, they go out of Europe. But as I said there, they'll be back next season. Now, finally, St Patricks Athletic had a 2-2 draw against FC Vaduz in Liechtenstein after they won the first leg 3-1. You did fancy Pats to go through here, to be honest, but I personally thought it'd be difficult, and it did prove to be difficult. I mean, Vaduz were home, they created chances, they scored 2 goals. The key was, for me, there was an opportunity where obviously Vaduz were 1-up in the game. They took the lead in the game. An early penalty, disappointing foul, I have to say, by Sjoberg to obviously give them the advantage in the game. And the key for Pats was not going 2 down, being honest. 6 minutes later, El Bazzetti equalises after good play. Then the left from Mulroney gets to the cross, and El Bazzetti shows great composure to finish and make it 1-1. But Vaduz had a great chance actually, just before that, a couple of minutes before that, where they probably should have scored. Actually, they hit the woodwork. So if that goes in, all of a sudden it's a different game. It's 2-0. So that was a massive turning point. That was about 2 or 3 minutes before El Bazzetti's equaliser, by the way. So that would have been a massive turning point. Now all of a sudden you're 2-0 down, all the pressure's on you. It might have been very difficult for Pats. So the huge thing for Pats is that at worst they went a goal down, and that's what happened twice. 76 minutes, Vaduz score again and go 2-1 up. A deflected shot that goes past Joey Anang. But 5 minutes later, good play by Levy. Managed to get into the box. Bit of a ricochet. Poor defending in the end. But Palmer is on hand, Ramal Palmer, to instinctively place it into the net. Vaduz had a chance deep in stoppage time. They hit the bar as well. They had chances in the game, Vaduz. But the key was for Pats that they never went 2 down in this match. And that really was key. So ultimately a very good result for Pats. Job done. The performance in the first leg was excellent. Probably should have won by more. And they deservedly go through. An interesting tie against Sabah FK from Azerbaijan. Now the Azerbaijan League is at number 23 in the UEFA coefficients. We're at 33. Karabag will be the team that are more famously known in Azerbaijan. And a lot of their coefficient points would probably be because of them, to be honest with you. But they beat Maccabi Haifa. I think Haifa would be a more difficult game for Pats, to be honest. I think this was a shock result. The fact that Sabah were 3-0 up from the first leg, which was an unbelievable result, a big, big shock. But they lost 6-3 in the second leg to Maccabi. Maccabi nearly pulled this off, which just would have been unbelievable. They really nearly pulled this off. So, that was incredible. Went to extra time, penalties, and the home side got through on penalties, 3-2. But this is going to be a difficult tie for Pats, of course it is, and they're going to be favourites. But I think Maccabi Haifa would have been more difficult, if I'm honest with you, because I think this is a shock result. Pats are home in the first leg. Now, the only disappointing thing is they're home in the first leg, but they're not actually home. It's at Tallaght Stadium. You'd much rather play them in Richmond Park, being honest. But what can we do? That's the way it is. And Pats will take them on in Tallaght Stadium. Of course, they know Tallaght Stadium, etc. Richmond Park, the way the fans really get on your back, I think that would have been seen more as maybe an old school difficult ground for Sabah to be coming into. So, whereas Tallaght Stadium's got, obviously it's more of a modern stadium, isn't it? Etc. etc. And the pitch is a bit bigger and the fans a little further away than you would have at Richmond Park. So I don't think there'll be a cultural shock there. It's a difficult one. It's a bit like the Vaduz one. You're going into the unknown a little bit, aren't you, with this side? And as I said, it was a shock against Maccabi Haifa. The only thing is, I suppose, from Stephen Kenny's point of view, he can watch them over the course of 2 legs, and they did concede 6 goals at home, to be honest. I wouldn't expect Pats to concede 6 goals at home to Maccabi Haifa, if I'm honest. I'd expect Haifa to beat them over the 2 legs, of course I would. But I wouldn't expect them to score 6 goals. So there's obviously a bit of a weakness there in their side. So first leg for Pats, again, it's a difficult one. What's a good result? What's a bad result? These guys won 3-0 in the first leg away from home and lost 6-3 at home in the second leg. So where do you stand with that? How do you reconcile that? But you'd have to say Pats probably can't lose the first leg. Hopefully they get the win. And, give them a good chance at least going into the second leg. Similarly to Shamrock Rovers, though, I think it's a tie that they could win. This isn't a case of Pats, in my opinion, having a hope of going through here, or Shamrock Rovers having a hope of going through here. They're probably not favourites, but I think there's an opportunity here. They're going to have to play well, though. There's no doubt about that. When they played at home for Vaduz, they played really well. El Bazzetti has come in. I think he's been massive and will get better, but he's very direct. I remember from before, and he looks like that player from before, from what I've seen so far. Good crosser of the ball. Jake Mulroney's actually playing really well at the moment, etc., etc. So, first leg, What am I going to go for? I'll go for Pats to get a result here as well, to win by 2 goals to 1. So, guys, that's pretty much about it. Let us know what you think in the comments. What do you think about the opposition that the League of Ireland sides, obviously Shamrock Rovers and St Patricks Athletic, have to play? What did you think of their results in the last round? What did you think of Shelbourne's results and performance in Europe in general, etc., etc.? Subscribe to the channel, please, if you haven't subscribed already. That's about it, really, guys. As I said, upcoming videos. We've got the Premier Division show that'll be coming out on Tuesday. JP is going to be on holiday, so I think Sean's going to be jumping on for that particular video as well. So we'll leave it there. Let us know what you think in the comments as usual, and we'll see you later.